we can all agree in today's modern society, though there's a lot of benefits that come with technology and industry, we can sometimes feel a little disconnected from humanity, from creativity, from community. And though that feels like something that's very current, those feelings are actually very old. In fact, in the mid-1800s, the Industrial Revolution was raging on, building machines, building factories, using electricity to have lighting in those factories where people worked even longer. And most of what we made was no longer made with human hands. And so in the middle of what some economists say was the most important pieces of human history, artists and philosophers decided it was time for a revolution. And that revolution was called the arts and crafts movement. Out of that came this philosophy that things needed to be made by human hands, that we needed to celebrate what we were able to make ourselves. From that came the architecture we now know as Craftsman Architecture. And what it said is one thing, and that's important, is that it's not so important what you live in, but how you live. If you know what to look for, Craftsman Architecture is unmistakable. You've got the low-pitched roofs, the large covered patios, and of course these multi-pane windows. The style is anything but ornamented. It is simple and it is structural. And that's the reason why Craftsman Architecture, which came out 150 years ago, is still today one of the most popular ways to design a home. Give me some more. This property we just listed on Fort Stockton looks like a postcard sent from the early 1900s. It's quintessentially Craftsman. You've got the red brick fireplace, the thin plank hardwood floors, the den California room overlooking a friendly tree-lined street. And of course you've got this bookcase that's an original built-in from the early 1900s. But one thing Sequoia West Properties did when they remodeled it is something I love. And that is the decision to make the kitchen truly contemporary. Because let's face it, we're in 2019 and we want quartz, we want shaker cabinets, we want subway tiles, chandeliers, and of course stainless steel appliances. These are modern conveniences for a modern buyer of a historic home. But my very favorite room is actually the master bedroom because it sits facing west over a protected canyon. It looks towards the Pacific Ocean, the San Diego Bay. It has tons of natural light, and it's got a surprise. One of the most surprising things about coming to the back of 1755 Fort Stockton is that it's built not on one private lot, but two private lots. This is the type of lot that the best builder that had all the choices in the world would pick to build his own home. So it only makes sense that Charles S. Hamilton, the grandfather of Mission Hills and the one who designed and developed most of what we now know as our city, chose this to be his starter home in the community. And Marston, famous architect here in Mission Hills, said that he was one of the most influential people in the zip code. When this used to be farmland, he saw something much bigger. And so though you might like the design and love what Sequoia West Properties does and did to this property, what you'll also love is that this is a central point connecting Mission Hills and this home to our history.